Every game needs a boss, and every boss needs a game. The exact role they play is different from game to game, but more often than not, they exist to be that final epic last fight for a game or a level. But let's be true to ourselves here. There are just some that even still kind of suck. And with that, this is my top 8 bosses that are pushovers. For the purpose of this list, there's only one rule. No first bosses. Now you might be asking yourself, 8's such an odd number to do a list on. And you would be wrong. It's not an odd number. It's an even number. When you're dancing through life. I'm starting this list off with Facade from Link's Awakening. Facade is the dungeon boss in the Face Shrine, and wait for it, he's a face. First off, he almost tells you his weakness right off the bat. Seriously? When the battle begins, he sends floor tiles and pots your way and take up this masterful defense position. And once he runs out, he just sporadically opens up the floor and helps you fall in. But do you see a problem here? I'm not falling in. You have to go out of your way and actually try to fall down one of these bad boys. And I mean try. It doesn't even do a full heart of damage. Now that's all well and good, but how exactly does one go about beating him? Well, you know that fancy new upgraded power bracelet you just got? Yeah, well, you don't need it. You just need a couple bombs. Just chuck a few his way and he's done. To sum it up, this boss doesn't challenge you. It's just easy as 1, 2... Alright, so in my last video, I talked about Bounty Hunter, and how everything you shoot is essentially cannon fodder. That's why at number 7 on this list is a boss that appears in that game. This nameless robot appears at the end of the 3rd chapter, the prison level. I won't spend too long talking about it, but like the rest of the game, all you do is point and shoot. And how long does it take?
Let's find out.
I rest my case. Hang on, what's this? Legate Lanius is appearing on this list? He wasn't easy at all. Yeah, you're right. He actually is a pretty big obstacle if you're not properly prepared. But remember, I'm factoring in more than just the easiness here. Legate Lanius is a definite pushover, and let me tell you why. As imposing as this guy is, you can skip the entire boss battle by just saying,
"Swiper, no swiping!" Oh man!
And by that, I mean putting all your experience points into speech, and then picking the dialogue with the highest number. Yeah, I have social skills. So this guy travels through all the wastelands, conquering everything in his path, and you talk him out of it. Hey Frodo, go away. Remember the only rule I made for this list? No first bosses. Well, I'm making an exception. Mostly because it was either this guy or that guy at the end of Mass Effect 3. It's my list, so deal with it. Glass Joe was the first person you fight in Punch-Out, and like his name suggests, he is a Joe, and he does indeed have glass-like properties. Now, I tried cutting him a little slack since he is the first fight in the entire game, but come on, his name is Glass Joe. I mean, honestly, he didn't make it on the list because he's easy, but because he openly admits to you that he sucks. Oh, and did I mention he's French? Now, is this a coincidence? Or do our boys at Nintendo have a dirty little secret? Probably coincidence. Coming in at number 4 is every boss in Kirby ever. What's that? I can't do that? Draw a name out of a hat or something. I don't know. The reactor on the Halberd battleship from Revenge of Meta Knight. Sure, whatever. Okay, there's not a whole lot I can say about this boss, but he's a boss, and he's from Kirby. Yeah. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Games that are based on movies have an immediate association with being bad. And don't get me wrong, they are, but among them are a few games that stand out amongst a pile of crud. One such game is Spider-Man 2. Well, it's not super spectacular, it was my first open world game that I ever played, and it still stands up well today. The swinging feels really fluid, and the combat system is decent. And of course, you can deliver pizzas as Spider-Man.
I'll deliver those pizzas before you know it.
Help, please!
Oh, good, my pizza. Thanks very much.
There are a slew of bosses that never really got any screen time in the movies. Probably for the better.
Hey, Parker.
But the man we're talking about is Mysterio. He always seemed like a cool villain to me. He was very mysterious. See that fishbowl? It's mysterious. But that doesn't grant him immunity from being on this list. After he puts you through a lot of the more annoying parts of this game, you find him holding up a convenience store.
I will destroy you utterly. You will bear witness to the majesty and glory of my power. Prepare to die. You have trifled with my power for...
Yeah. One of Spider-Man's greatest evil masterminds, robbing a Quickie Mart and defeated in a single punch. Well, there's only one thing left to do. Numero dos on El Listo shouldn't be any surprise to anyone that's ever played the game before. It is Golem. That's an R. Shut up, Lord Genome, no one likes you. I'm sorry, babies. Golem Overlord is a boss that randomly shows up while you're on the Blackbird. Hang on, are those his eyes? Or are those his eyes and those his nostrils? Or is that his face up there? I don't know. So why is this guy so not hard? Well, he runs away from you. Because he's afraid of heights. On a giant battleship that is in the air. Alright, so if you're gonna let this evil guy into your evil crew of evilness on your flying evil airship of evil, you should probably do a background check and make sure they aren't acrophobic or anything. Just my advice. So what's worse than a boss finishing itself off for you? A final boss that finishes itself for you. And Lucian from Fable 2 does just that. All he really does is stand there and talk to you for a really long time before Reaver finally pulls out his gun and...
Oh, I thought he'd never shut up.
Thanks, Stephen Fry. You could have shot him at any point, but come on. Pressing that Y button is just too much work. And another thing. If someone pulls out a gun and starts aiming it at your body parts, you should probably react in some way. Or at least acknowledge that they're pointing it at you, and not just keep talking. But you have to admit, killing the final boss with a shot to the groin, pretty satisfactory. So that's my list of the top 8 bosses that are pushovers. Be sure to leave a comment about what boss you would have included. Was that a submarine? Nope. It's just your friendly neighborhood subscribe button. It gets kind of lonely. Maybe you could cheer it up with a click, click, click.